now. Can you guys hear me any better?
Yes!
Yay!
We have 4 players, and that means we are a go. All right, at the beginning, thank you, Bearded Texan, for giving us the intros that we need. Let's take a listen to what happened last time.
Okay, it's been a while, so let's see if I got this right. Okay, so we last left off with the party entering Jokun. They quickly searching out Angela Oaktree. They learned of the burned-out village to the east of the city, as well as a man named Giles, who has banded together the local outlaws and scum. They started their search in the eastern section among the burned-out buildings, but learned nothing. So they headed east towards a local township. Finding a grief-stricken collective, they learned of more murders among the local merchants. Continuing on their journey, they came across 2 bandits robbing an apple merchant, one being slain by Aiden's guiding bolt, and the other one surrendering. We find them mid-interrogation. Let's go ahead and do this.
Totally a perfect introduction, totally from Arjak's point of view, since you all did find out things when you were outside the city. And he's like, we didn't find anything. But that's fantastic. Anyways, this is where we left off. Effectively, you all are on the map that was created by Angela Oaktree. And this is Scout 2, who is sitting tight as he is completely and utterly surrendered. Scout 1 is over here, mangled legs barely hanging on to stirrups as the horse actually takes off, so probably he's not there at this point. And we are beginning the day, so what would you all like to do?
I'm not seeing the map.
Oh, you're not seeing the map. Let's re-push this out. Yes, you're seeing all the ins and outs from the DM side for Fantasy Grounds. If there are any questions regarding this, make sure you drop it in the chat box. We'll try to do our best to keep track of questions regarding Fantasy Grounds at the conclusion of the game.
If you double-click on your token on your character sheet, it'll automatically bring up the map where your token is placed.
Oh, good to know.
Check that out.
Thank you.
It's not just Storm King's Thunder, it's Fantasy Grounds, hidden tips and tricks. I love it.
So the guy just dropped his weapons and kind of went, right?
Yeah, because, well, originally he was going to hit you with 2 short swords, and both of them, he rolled a natural 1, and both of them flew out of his hands in either direction, and just went, yeah, never mind. I meant to do that, and I'm giving up.
Dragon's going to say, stay your weapon, big man, and stride forward.
He's going to go, okay. He's going to try to Spartan kick the guy just to knock him down prone. Not enough to, like, do damage, but just to knock him to the ground.
The guy's already dropped to his knees, and he's like,
oh, okay.
I mean, as soon as he dropped his weapons, he's like, yep, meant to do that. Hold second. I give up.
Arjak doesn't want to. Well, actually, hold on.
This is too...
I'm going to see if he... Yeah, he'll hold.
Okay, so, anyone else doing anything at this point?
Aiden keeps down her meal
Okay.
after she annihilated that poor guy.
Very nice. So, here, you have this guy in front of you. Are you asking him questions? What are you doing with him? Are you sending him on his way?
Oh, no, definitely not going to happen. Traven's going to ask him, who is he? Who are you? What is your name? And why were you attacking that woman? So, because I rewatched last episode, I remember that his name is Scout 2.
I'm a Scout 2.
That is a strange name.
My mother was not very
Right.
savvy in the naming of children, and my father wasn't around long enough to change it, so it's Scout 2.
Why were you attacking the woman with the apples?
I was instructed. We have to, we're preparing for Giles' birthday, and so we were foraging for presents.
So Arjak's going to lean over to Traven and go, you want to do the good merc, bad merc thing?
No, I just want to ask him questions and find out where they are camped.
So Arjak turns back. Tell us the truth! And he just kind of yells it at the guy. Can I do an intimidation?
Sure, roll an intimidation check. In the tower.
I think he was telling us the truth.
He might be.
Yeah. So where you had him totally afeared and his like arms were dropped off, and you do this like you must like as a Goliath you kind of misjudge what is fearful for a Goliath versus what's fearful for a human, and you kind of become a caricature of yourself as you do it. And he stifles a giggle. I meant no disrespect.
Hey, buddy, why don't you tell me what your block is?
Arjak's just gonna kind of move over and let Trayman do his thing.
Well, you mentioned Giles. Who is this Giles? Where are you all at? Why are you seeking other people's food for your birthday celebration?
You have to understand, I personally don't have a lot of personal belongings, so with Giles' birthday approaching, we simply wanted to take this woman's apples to provide as a present, and I understand how it looks. I don't know what else to say.
All right, so Kepish has been watching this play out. He's going to cast Prestidigitation and create a font of blood oozing from his hand as his illusion from his hand. He's going to walk up to the guy and, using his full intimidation, go, "Where's your boss now? Speak, or I will shove my hand and rip out your heart."
Okay, roll it in the tower.
I like this. This is pretty nice.
That would be Gesh, not Kepish, right?
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah. So, the guy just immediately kind of sits back and goes, "What do you want to know? I will tell you everything you want." That is freaking terrifying. There's a turn, about an hour's. It's hard to judge. You guys are walking. We were kind of sharing a horse at one point. That guy that evaporated, so it's hard for me to gauge. But it's an hour, a little more than that, maybe. Heads north. You got about another 2 hours or so of, maybe longer, 5. You have to understand, we were constantly on watch. And he is just babbling stuff. I mean, your intimidation kind of went, reached a little farther than you meant. And so he's just like, I'm trying to tell you the truth.
For some reason or another, his brother, 5 miles away, is also now scared.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, if he has any sort of twin connection, that twin is probably rolling over and going, "Why am I peeing on myself?" You know. But yeah, no, he is totally intimidated by everything that you're saying. He's just like, how do I
calm down, Scout 2.
What are your numbers in your camp?
That's going to be hard to say because let me.
Here it comes.
Wait. Let me explain. With Giles' birthday, people are going to be coming in from scouting, so I haven't seen everyone. I can tell you that there's at least 40.
Is Giles in the camp now?
I don't know. We haven't been there for 3 days.
Who is this Giles?
Who's Giles?
Right.
He,
What is he? Where does he come from? Why is he here now?
So my understanding is that he came up from Baldur's Gate, or he came over from Baldur's Gate. I don't know much about him. The only reason I say that is because I happen to notice some of the emblems when he came in with a small crate of goods had a Baldur's Gate insignia on it. He is a very, very persuasive, and we were trying to form up kind of our group, and he kind of just came in and decimated our leader. And ever since then, he's been numero uno. It kind of fits with the kind of the way that we have typically pledged. You keep what anything that belongs to the person that you've slaughtered. So he's a very cunning individual. Definitely has smarts that is uncommon in these parts.
Listen, you foul aberration of a goblin and a piglet. What do you know of a giant in the area? Have you done any business with it?
He kind of looks at you, kind of tilts his head a little bit and goes, I'm human and you're dragonborn, right?
Yes.
It's a very odd cursing of me, I guess. I don't know of anything about any giants, other than we seem to be stockpiling or being requested to stockpile a lot of food.
No. So the apples were for the party, but the rest of the food you do not know what it's for.
No, I mean, and I'll be honest with you. My intention was to take some of these apples, put it in a nice box, a basket, and present it as a present with a couple of coins on the bottom, and the rest were tribute to whatever the food stores of the bandits.
I got a question. When you said that he decimated your previous leader, you're talking about like she decimated that fellow over there? Or are you talking about decimated like he went crying home to mommy because his feelings got hurt?
No, he understood that our previous leader was ineffective and too cowardly, and he took him out.
Like, did he stab him? Did he hit him
My understanding is that our previous leader, we're not allowed to say his name anymore.
Okay.
Woke up with a cut from his neck all the way down.
So he was stabbed. Got it.
Stabbed, dismembered, yes.
Okay.
So on this map, point out where your encampment is.
So he kind of points to an area, and he's like, I don't understand what the scale is here. This doesn't look entirely right to me, but I would say it's there. But don't ask me to take you there. I'm not going to. You all scare me, but I'm dead either way. And I've seen what you can do. And he points to Aiden. He goes, that terrifies me. But I don't know if that terrifies me more than being split in two.
So if we release you, what will you do with your life?
You know what? And he looks straight at you, Trey, and he goes, if you're going to release me, I ask you what you want me to do with my life.
Arjack just starts pulling out some rope from his pack.
If you go down this trail back the way we came, there's a collection of huts that need some help. Offer your services to the families there.
I promise I will do that. And
do no harm to anyone.
And he goes.
We're not eating him? Ah.
No, Master Cash. No, I don't believe we will be eating him. What is she crying about over there?
Are you talking about Aiden?
Yeah. She's planting.
Nervous planting.
Yeah, no. She figured she just destroyed life, so she has to create some.
Well, she made all this extra manure over there that she's got to use up, you know.
Nice, very nice.
But look, he has obviously a very fatty liver. He would be delicious, I'm telling you.
And the guy kind of leans back just a little bit farther from Gesh than he has before, but he's trying not to like fall backwards into the woods.
Right then. So, are we sure we want to send him back to that family?
Well, on the threat that if he does any harm to them, then Aiden will do to him what she did to his friend.
I don't want that.
Oh, do something wrong. Do something. Oh, please give me a reason. I will track your smoke butt down, and I will enjoy you on a lovely toasted rye. Just do something wrong.
If you all are not going to make me deal with, go with you to confront Giles, I'm happy to accept whatever punishment / duty that you feel is necessary to give to me. Go ahead and roll an insight check real quick, and you can do this out in the open. I want you to know. Anyone who's interested. Anyone who's interested.
Instead of doing it on my own, can I help Traben on his?
Yes.
Give him an advantage?
Yes.
There we go. Yeah.
There are some people who have taken pilgrimage to far lands to prove piety. This is kind of the level of commitment he is expressing in his body language to you right now.
So he's going to tell him, just remember, you've struck a bargain here, and I trust in you to do this. Loyalty is not a word; it is a lifestyle.
And he kind of winces a little bit because he goes, I can't promise you that I'm not going to, right? I will do everything I can right now, but the notion of anything long term for him is kind of out the window, right? Not that he would ever, he's not going to do harm to this family, but
right.
You also recognize that this is someone who probably has never had a sustained family or anything, right? So he'll probably be there a good 2 months, no problems, doing whatever you wanted them to do, and then he might be gone to a bigger city.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So
in 2 months, go ahead.
I'm sorry. At the end of this, the guest is going to turn around and walk up to Arjack and say, "That's how the dragons get her done."
I mean, you used magic.
And you used a funny squeaky voice. I think it was more impressive. Just say it. It'll give him a little on the shoulder. Yeah.
All right. So you all pack up. Elsandra is quick on Arjack's heels, just kind of like Arjack takes a step back and he doesn't realize it, but she was standing behind him the whole time, kind of going like, naughty man, naughty man. And maybe that might have unintentionally reduced some of the intimidation roll as well. But y'all continue heading down the road. It's you're starting to notice that the road is actually just slightly inclined or at this point, and you get this sense that you're a little bit more tired than you mean to be as you approach what ends up being the intersection. Based on the time that you spent investigating and time on travel, it's, you're approaching late afternoon, 4 p.m. or so, as you kind of see that turn off to the left, which heads north.
Anyone need a short rest?
Okay.
Scout 2. Aiden, would you quit crying, please? You did what was necessary. It was something that had to be done. That man would warn these people we were coming, and it would have been a horrible fight.
And you called upon your god, and she granted you a marvelous, miraculous shot. Obviously, these guys have been defiling something in the land and nature, because that was a beautiful, beautiful kill.
You think so?
Yes.
Oh, yes. No doubt.
Okay.
I mean, if nothing else, you kind of gave back a bit of iron and bone to the ground, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, the horse sure felt lighter after that, that's for sure.
And you did not harm the beast, the animal, the horse.
Oh, does that mean it's my horse now?
If
he said you get to keep what you kill from.
I'd say it's your horse if you can get to it.
Yours will be the one splattered with gore.
Horses can be washed. I can wash the horse.
You can.
Elsandra kind of all excited about there being a horse in the party. It's like, I'll help. But again, y'all are on your travels, and so again, you're right at the T-junction where it heads more towards Succumber versus heading north to where Scout 2 kind of circled on your map with his finger, said it's in there.
Okay. So before we go pick a direction, he said there were 40 plus of them.
Yes.
That's a lot of folk. I mean, me and Gesh got muscles for days. Don't get me wrong, but there's a saying about stupidity in numbers.
Did you say stupidity in numbers?
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
But we also heard that they're all coming and going, getting ready for the Fiesta de Guile. So
they
may not all be there. Yep.
We could pass as people coming to give him presents. Sounds
because two Draconic and a Goliath, we're just gonna put a cloak on and we're with you guys.
Sounds like a really big gang, and lots of people you said were out still scouting. Maybe he doesn't know the full numbers.
I got a DM question. Have we been able to notice any markings among the scouts or the outlaws or anything that we've seen that kind of like a sash, a bandana, anything like that ties them together?
Lower abdominal dampness.
Not really. You can. In fact, what you have seen, I mean, you've only really run into two, right? And they're so as best you can tell, it's kind of hard to gauge based on Aiden's absolute destruction of the of the rider, but you kind of get the sense that their emblems aren't the same at all. So again, the whole notion of Giles bringing people together in order to build a much larger force kind of rings true as to what might be going on here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does to me. But Traven's going to show his shield and look down at his overgarment, which has a big, symbol of Torm on it, drawn on it. The shield's got a big symbol of Torm on it. I don't think I could hide in there.
I don't hide anywhere.
We either wait for Giles to come out or sneak in and try to look around, maybe from outside looking in.
Or we wait for a group that's going in. We kick the piss out of them. And then pretend to be their prisoners going in. Huh?
I'm listening.
And then ambush as we get in there.
Also known as the Death Star approach.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. We get a big enough cloak and things like that. I know you're all marked up, but we can get you covered up.
I'm not marked up. You're marked up. You have the stuff on your...
I'm talking about your religious markings on your shield and your...
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Adrian's small enough that... Or Aiden, rather. It's small enough we could probably throw a cloak over and curl her tail up. And...
Speaking of that, Aiden, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Dragonborn are usually, from my rare occasion to meet one, are much larger.
Yeah, and?
I just was wondering if there was some reason you were not as big as Gesh.
I figured it was because he was male.
I don't know of your people's gender differences.
Well, that's how it is in the animal world often. The males are bigger and more brightly colored. So they can attract a mate.
How's that working out for you, Gash?
Slow.
Aiden seems a little uncomfortable about the line of questioning. Yeah.
Very well. I just wondered if there was some reason.
Okay. So, again, you guys are still at the T-junction. I haven't pushed you forward from there while you've been conversing. So,
Perhaps
just kind of curious.
Step off the road a little ways and not be so obvious.
Yeah.
Let me go. Go ahead and roll. Everyone roll a history check real quick. In the open. In the open.
Ooh. Oh no! Here comes my negative modifiers.
Wow. Arjack gets a flat 0 by rolling a 1 with his -1. Okay, so Aiden and Traben kind of like walk back through some of the conversation that they overheard Scout 2, and they recall a question that was never actually asked, which was, when's Giles' birthday? But for some reason they recall it, and the person was saying that it is not this evening, but the following evening.
So if there's a party, if they're having a birthday party, they will all be distracted.
Possibly, but that I'm only giving you that question because I'm not going to allow you to go back and find out more things.
Okay. So perhaps we could make use of this party to somehow capture Giles and turn him in to the authorities.
I mean, we could be a group of traveling performers. I got a tiny drum.
So here's a question. As you all are going north on this side trail, I'm going to just go ahead and make the assumption you're headed in that direction. Is that a safe assumption?
Okay.
Then I need to understand, are you going to be extra stealthy? Are you going to be more in the woods and take a less direct route so that you're less seen on the road? Are you going to welcome any sort of bandits that might be scouting around the area? I'm not trying to influence saying that something will or will not happen, but I need to understand what's your approach. Are you just going to forget all that noise? We're headed straight down, normal pace.
I think we'll go off the road into the woods and stealth through the woods a little bit.
And I think Traven would probably get off the path, and to use the term stealth would be a joke.
No, but you could choose to be just far enough away that it will resemble stealth.
Right, he's going to try to be as quiet as he can, and I mean, he is wearing chainmail, so
it changes how fast you travel down the road is basically the bigger thing, right?
I understand.
So,
why are we even attempting this? Do you now wish to draw them out to us in smaller crowds, to destroy them, to show them our superiority, small chunks at a time? We're going to have to kill them all eventually. If we can get smaller pieces of them, it will just work out easier.
That is one approach, but if you're going to kind of go in stealthy-like or with some notion of an alternate plan,
right.
I'm throwing that out there.
Right.
I'm just thinking we need to have some sort of idea what we're up against. I mean, are there defense walls? Is it just tents? Are they in a ruin? Is it a castle? I mean, is there a moat? There's a lot that we have to look into what we're searching for. So I'm thinking collectively we might want to get off the road and find out what's going on.
Aiden, what's your take on all this?
Oh, Aiden has no idea. She'll just speak up, and when it comes to talking about stealth, because she's also in chainmail, so
okay.
She's not good at sneaking. But as far as strategy or tactics, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess basically everybody except for the hidden tree that's walking with us is just going to walk off the road. You know how stealthy that is with 3 chainmailed up people stomping out there. You know that's a definitely.
I might be in chainmail too.
Yeah, but you're probably nice and shiny.
Yeah, I'm in chainmail as well.
Nice. So everyone is like anything but stealthy. What your team desperately needs would be a rogue, right?
Yep.
What's actually does the mage have any stealth ability whatsoever? And I mean not to throw any racial imprint on the halfling, but
Let's find out.
I mean, perhaps she's only like about 3 inches tall. I mean, I can't believe she can't just
easier to hide a pebble than a boulder.
Let's find out.
Do we think we need more information of this encampment?
We could spy on them.
Or we could just kill them.
Well, yeah, but spy on them and so we don't get killed while we try to kill them.
Well, I think indiscriminitely slaying them is not the best approach.
No.
Some of them may wish to repent their evil ways.
Well, we kill the leader, we become the leader, we make them all go fix the village, and we're done. All we have to do is get the guys.
All 40. Okay, yeah. So
you see a light bulb turn on in Arjak. He goes, I could lead these folks if I kill him.
Could be your click.
Heard.
So you see the halfling, and you can tell from a footstep perspective, man, she's moderately stealthy. And then you kind of like look around to the rest of your group, and you go, maybe my bar is set too low based on everyone else with their chainmail armor on. You also notice that she's a little bit on the chatty side, right? So she's like, and we're walking, having fun in woods.
I mean, if nothing else, we send her in first.
Okay.
Well, if
she's like,
Brienne
what?
To come down this path and see this young halfling walking along, they would surely stop to try to render assistance, if you know what I mean.
And then we chop their heads off.
And we could gain more information and maybe cut down their numbers a few.
So you guys are still at the intersection. Time is slipping by as you're debating about the taxes. And I don't mind, but I want to be fair to the scenario, okay?
Right.
So...
Let's go.
So it's getting, again, now it's like almost evening time. Honestly, at some point, you're probably in the next hour or two probably going to need to set up camp.
Right.
So...
Yeah, let's just move down the main road right now until we set up a camp, and then tomorrow while we're camping, we'll figure out a better approach for the second half of our journey.
So then this begs the question of how you would like to set up camp. Near the road, away from the road, how far?
Off the road.
Okay.
I would say it needs to be far enough off the road where are we going cold camp or are we going fire?
Cold camp.
Then that changes how far off the road it needs to be. I
Okay.
would think.
So we're going to say
far enough
that
away where we could see the road, but still be somewhat hidden from the road.
Maybe what, 15 yards?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say that y'all have moved about an hour's north on this particular road. It's starting to get way darker now, but the reason has more to do with the fact that the tree line on either side is dense and it's tall. So the daylight percentage kind of is a factor of the skyline on either side of you. So you kind of, in order to do so without causing a ruckus or giving a chance for Aiden to not step in anything that might be a insect mound or whatnot, she's got a care for those things around her, right? So this is the time of night in the evening where it must be decided to go ahead and start setting up camp. I need to know what's going to be the watch, and you can add Alessandra to this, and I'm going to play her character for tonight. So just so I understand it's 7 o'clock, you need to figure out what you need to do as far as scavenging food. Are you just going to eat the provisions that are provided to you? Are you going to, what's the order of the watch?
Well, again, Trayvon would be up at midnight and dawn, so he could take a midnight watch if required. He can't see in the dark, though.
Okay.
Do we have anyone with dark vision?
I don't think we do.
Which makes a cold camp a little interesting, right?
So I think we have a watch order set up already in the party sheet.
Yeah, but it doesn't have numbers in it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So
let's put some numbers in it so we can just have this set up.
For those of you taking a look, this is what the watch order is in the party sheet for Fantasy Grounds.
So when we go ahead and put the prayer people on the outer edges of that, so Traven take the first and Aiden take the last. And then let's go ahead and put Arjak. So Traven first, Arjak second, Gesh third, Elisandra. Well, she's a caster too, isn't she?
She is.
So let's go ahead. Well, she's still pretty good with. If she goes in on fourth and then Aiden on fifth slot.
Well, and if you want to double up at any point in time, you can set it up as just 4 watch cycles, right? That's
gotcha.
Okay too. So
we'll have Elisandra be the floater on either outer side, so she can either go with Traden or Aiden. Let's do Aiden and Elisandra on the last watch. I think that's probably the best one.
Aiden, you okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead and can you put the numbers into the watch order, John?
I don't think I can. I think you have to do that.
Oh, okay. So then Trademan will be 1.
Yep.
And then we'll put Arjak 2 or Gesh?
Gesh 2, Arjak 3, and then Aiden and Elisandra 4.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Also
Yes,
got a ton of rope if we want to try to rope something off and make a trip snare.
Okay.
I mean, I got 100 feet of rope here.
You're just itching to use that rope.
I mean...
So we're going to put you all off on the map just a little bit a ways, but not too far off the map, right? And let's see if there is an encounter set up. Okay, we're going to go ahead and use this map. During the tail end of Traban's turn at watch, there is a caravan. Caravan's the wrong word. There's a singular hooded wagon that shows up, and you kind of watch as someone kind of comes out in a cloak, sets up a fire near it, and it's not very far away from you, but they have not spotted you at all. And I'm putting this on the map. So for all intents and purposes, that square represents the covered wagon, and just south of that is a small fire that's being started up.
And this is during Traven's watch.
This is during Traven's watch.
He's going to wake Gesh. He's going to wake everyone, but quietly.
Okay.
If they're asleep, because it was the first watch. So.
Okay. Well,
look southward. We have company that have set up a camp of their own.
So Arjak kind of nods and he goes, I'm going to try to cross over the road to the other side and come around the flank.
Okay.
Any objections? Okay,
Go ahead.
Can I try to stealth across?
Sure. Do a stealth check as well as a dex save. I'll allow the dex save
tower?
with. Yeah. No. Yeah, in the tower. I was gonna.
And dex save. What about it?
Go ahead and make that out in the open.
My dex isn't terrible.
Okay, so you start crossing over the road, and you feel kind of super stealthy. Everyone who's watching you is like, he could be quieter, really could be.
Told him to be quiet.
And but you're like, man, this is about as quiet as I've ever been, right? But your focus is pointing south down the road as you cross the street. And you hit this like root on the other side of the road, and you're about to like land forward, and you catch yourself. So it didn't create any more noise than you have before, but you've now made it to the other side of the the force, and I've moved your icon to kind of show where you're at.
Trayvon was watching the wagon/campfire to see if there was any indication whatsoever that they had noticed, or if anyone had noticed him.
No, in fact, give me a perception check. You kind of have a little bit of a benefit because there's the fire that's near the area kind of gives them away a little bit better. Never mind. No additional information. But you're thinking in the back of your head, wow, I'm not having dark vision isn't hurting me too bad.
Right. The campfire helps, fellas.
Yeah.
So, Trayvon, do you think he knows he has a squeaky boot?
I don't know what he thinks he knows, or I don't think I know what you know.
Okay.
Perhaps we should move down a little closer on this side of the road, Gesh. Aiden, keep that spell of yours handy.
So, the second you try to leave, Trayvon, Alessandra's like poking you in your chin, effectively, like, where am I supposed to go?
Guard Aiden.
Okay. Okay. So, go ahead and make a stealth check in the tower for me.
Okay.
Both of us?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, God. How bad can I do? Here we go.
So,
You have
go ahead and move your character too, that distance. Now, Arjack, you're on the other side of the road, and you kind of went through, and you're like, I am Mr. Stealth, and all of a sudden you hear this coming from the other side, and you're like, but they ain't. Elsa,
I think you have loose coin in your pouch.
Aiden, you kind of notice that, like, between the two, as funny, I don't know if it's you find humor or fear in what's going on, but whatever it is, it's amplified when the other two move compared to where an Arjak moved. Okay?
Probably a mix of both.
Yeah. So, what else do you want to do? Nothing has witnessed anything that you're doing. And actually, Gesh, can you give me a perception check?
Open or in a tower?
Open. It's fine. Okay, you happen to notice now something that Trayvon hadn't seen, and whatever the group that you're kind of tracking on did, every single one of them is, you can kind of see, because of the fire being on the south side of the carriage, you can see their kind of shadow playing up against the side of the hooded carriage, and all of them appear to be inside. There doesn't appear to be anyone on the outside, and while you can't hear it because it's really faint, there is a sense of that they're sitting around talking to one another. So as bad as y'all have been with stealth checks, unless they are, because you don't feel like they're perceptively on guard, that nothing really is transpired bad.
Oh.
All right.
Can I continue up in the woods?
Absolutely.
Okay. Stealthily.
Gesh.
What? I can't hear you over all this. What?
Perhaps we should get our unarmored friend to come forward and get close.
Well, they're all sitting inside their wagon. They're not even care about guarding.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
That's because you're looking to the north. They're over there by the fires. You don't like low. You keep waiting for the sun to come up over there on the west. Or the east. Yeah, I know, but it's not. No, it's not going to happen.
So actually, Arjak, just before you go, Aiden, what are you doing?
I'm just watching.
Sitting tight. Okay. You have this.
Tight, yeah.
You have this halfling kind of running all around you, like, can't wait till you move. Okay, Arjak.
Stealthing up through the woods.
Do it.
Do I need a stealth check in the tower?
Sure. Why not? And also, go ahead and put your indicate where you're going to go so then I can accept the move.
Well, I got about 30 feet.
Okay. Yeah.
That's there, if I can.
Okay, the deeper you go in the forest, the more I'm going to need dexterity saves, because you don't have any sort of night vision, and you're going to be tripping over stuff.
Can you pull me to there, then?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. You now can also kind of hear conversation that's going on within the carriage. You can't share this information with anyone, but
that's fine.
You can definitely hear it. It's multiple voices.
Can I tell if it's, like, just from the tone of conversation, if it's very, like, business, or is there, like, laughing? Like
it sounds like they're plotting.
Plotting, okay.
Okay. And as you approach, I'm going to summarize what else is going on. The night is very pleasant. A cool breeze rustles through the tree limbs as you sit as you approach the campfire. The breeze dies down and the sounds of night hush for a moment. You see an orange glow further down the road, a campfire perhaps. Voices can be heard coming from that direction. Voices are soft, but you're able to start making out what they're saying. And as you get closer, you'll hear it. And actually, it's still kind of rumbling. All right.
Which way is the cart facing? Is it facing north and south?
So the carriage is actually facing the road and the trees. Like the openings on outside the carriage covered wagon is the road and the trees.
So I'm coming up on the side of it right now.
So again, let's see if I can mark it as such. It's facing that way.
Gotcha.
Okay. And the horses are kind of like tied up to the trees again, sort of south of, closer to the campfire. And the horses seem to be fine.
Okay.
Like there's no craziness going on. Okay, you two have decided to move as well. Go ahead and give me a stealth check if you intend to do so stealthily. If not, let me know that you're not.
I guess she's giving up on that irony.
Oh my gosh! And so is Trayban as he rolls a 2. So you kind of see Gesh kind of move forward, and he's like, "I'm not worried about stealth anymore." And Trayban's like, "No, we should be worried about it." And he's making way more noise than you did when you were moving forward. It was just an unfortunate patch of leaves and branches that had, come out through the other side. We're in springtime, but it's all that dead debris of forest that hadn't been cleaned up or anything. Surprisingly, though, no activity is coming from the caravan. But I need now everyone to roll perception and just do it in the tower. And don't do it in the tower. Do it out.
From who?
The 3 people that are close enough to it. It can't be from Aiden. Man. So it's still a series of garbled mess as far as you can tell. It's just, but there's variance. You can hear at least 4 voices in there, and they're talking with very different intonations, right? So some have like more of a concern, some are a little bit more timid in their presentation. There's definitively someone who is kind of almost like defining what they need to do.
So an argument, maybe?
Less an argument, more, like I said, of a plotting. A disagreeing in the plotting of a plan. Does that make sense? Like, yes. I don't want it. It's not a. Oh, I hate you. It's a. How should we proceed? Well, I think we should be silent. I think we should run forward. Right? It's that kind of thing.
Crouching low, trying not to be heard.
Okay.
Going to move there.
So you hurry over there, and as you start, it literally has to be a run. There's no possible way. You're not going to stealth across an open area. So you dart across the thing, and you hit roots on the other side and plant face down just outside the covered wagon. You kind of hear them stop for a second, and they're like, And you go, and then all of a sudden you kind of go, you hear someone else go, we can't delay. We have to do this. Remember, everything goes down tomorrow night. And all of a sudden you start hearing as they're talking, and there's this deep, scratchy voice. I say we kill them while they're sleeping. And you hear this kind of timid, but I need to rest, to recover my spells. We don't need your spells. I'll slice them up real easy like. And then you hear, Giles, don't be hasty. We need to prepare. Yes, Giles, we must wait until dawn. And then the breeze picks up, and the sounds of the night you're kind of hearing them off in the distance.
Am I able to see from here whether or not like he's in trouble or anything?
You can't tell. I mean,
okay.
The bottom line is, I'm not even going to have you roll. You see what actually happened, which was your friend darts across the thing, hits a root, and drops straight down, and he's like prone in a way that you can tell he's like, now I'm trying not to be seen.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's all That's all you're aware of. All right. So, let's go ahead and do initiative. We waited long enough.
Initiative.
Okay. Now you can't quite see them yet, so I'm not going to have you know what they're doing per se, with the exception of like shadowy images on the right that they're still currently in the carriage. So, Traben, you're up.
All right, so Traben's going to stand up, unsheath his sword.
Okay.
And he's going to shout at the top of his lungs, "My friends, the one we seek is in this wagon."
Okay, and
he's got 15 feet of movement left. He's going to move to there to get to facing the rear of the wagon.
Okay.
Are we counting as having a short rest at this point?
No.
No, nothing? Okay.
That's
just wondering because my action surge, so I was wondering if it had regenerated or not.
So right as you do that, right as you're saying this, you kind of hear the conversation continue and you hear this, "My blades will find their mark this evening of this I am certain." What the hell is going on outside? As you make your movement all around. Okay.
Yep.
Alessandra, she kind of just gets super excited about the fact that something's going on, and even though she's supposed to stay near Aiden, she just kind of runs into the middle of the road.
Well, the reason Traben yelled that so loud was to try and convey the message down the road.
Okay, so she got overexcited and just ran, and then you kind of see her turn back around, and it's like in a moment of indecision, going back and forth, like, supposed to stay near her. Arjak.
Arjak is going to come at this point full tilt, just running through the forest. He knows the gig is up. He's going to run up to the side of the cart.
What is it? Oh, you're not a ranger. Never mind. Okay, no. So I need you to do a dex save as you're doing all that.
Public or hidden?
Oh, public. This will be fun.
Okay. That's not good. I think I needed at least a 10 or a 15.
You know, when the forest wins, it's a bad night.
Yeah.
So Arjak, you run straight through the thing, but you like collapse and kind of hit into the caravan and into the carriage, the covered wagon.
That was kind of his goal. He was gonna try to like momentum lift it and see if he could tilt the wagon.
But that's not what happened. Instead, what happened is you tripped on the root system and your head went through the covered wagon fabric. Okay. Oh, no. That's what happened. So, anyways,
let me see what's inside.
Yes, you do. So, you're right here, and you just kind of like, and so you're unable to do any other action. It's just kind of like you run, trip, head through the covered wagon fabric, and you see these 4 people, and let me make sure I'm describing this correctly. So, a short, stocky man with a bit of whisker, scruff, and a scar that runs down his left cheek. He wears leather armor and a gold-studded bandolier of daggers. He's shuffling a dagger between his fingers of his right hand, and he's like doing it masterfully. You see a slender man with short, trim black hairs. Black hair. He wears spectacles and brown robes. A fancy quarterstaff lies across his lap. An athletic man wearing chainmail armor and carrying a throwing hammer at his side. It's really ornate. Like, the one thing that you kind of notice as your head goes through this is, like, first off, there's candles inside this covered wagon so you can see all this. And everything that they're using is just immensely, like, master crafted as far as you can tell. A burly man with a well-trimmed brown beard. He's wearing full plate armor and carries a long sword at his side.
Can I say something to him as a bonus action?
Sure.
I'm here to collect the tribute for the Giants.
And so you kind of see that their reaction to you is one of immense surprise, to the point that the older man with the staff across it's a younger man with a staff across his lap, literally screams and kind of like jumps up onto the other side of the cart, like going ah! when this happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Pull my head out so it doesn't get lopped off.
Yeah. Okay. Next up is so there is there's like a person. I want to make sure I'm getting this right. They put the description and the people on opposite sides. So, like, intention, what they're doing, and their description is on the wrong side. So the athletic man wearing chainmail armor and the throwing hammer is Arjak, as far as you can tell, would be identified as a cleric. Is sitting across from you, and he goes, "What nonsense is this? This is no way to be professional." And that's all he says. Gesh, your go.
Yeah. So, yeah.
What?
Flame breath.
Oh.
This part is on fire.
Yeah.
Okay. Just don't get me. Or don't get me, it's fine.
Okay, you get over there, and just the mere visage of Gesh at the front of the carriage, and you see them all, like, scrambling to get out the back. They're like, "What is that?" And they're just kind of like.
Well, you mean the front? Because he's at the back if the horses are tied up in the woods.
No, they unhitched the horses from the carriage, and they're tied over by the thing, so they're going out the back.
My bad. Okay, I got you now.
So now, Gesh, give me a perception check before you do that, and with advantage. Because they're not trying to hide anything at this point. Wow. Okay. Such bad perception. DM intervene.
Singing?
Oh, that's Sophia. She's playing Minecraft and singing.
Nice. You're about to. I'm assuming you're about to breathe all over these people, and as you you kind of inhale up, you kind of take a notice, and you go, "Wait a minute. This isn't real armor. This isn't real weapons. They are terrified. They're doing their best to scramble out the back of the carriage. It's actually because their back is turned to you, and you can kind of see, like, what looks to be like leather armor one of them is wearing has these, like, obvious stitching and, like, attachment things here that are like simple buttons that they're trying to get out of the carriage.
I am going to refrain from igniting this wagon.
Okay.
Then I will call out, which one of you is Giles?
And so the guy who is closest to you in the north section kind of meekly raises his head and you go like, I was asked to play as Giles.
Oh, performers. They're performers, people.
Oh,
All the more reason to kill him. Let's go.
Performers.
And like slowly he's like, can I prove that?
Why were you talking about slaying people while they sleep?
So first off, the guy who was playing Giles reached forwards and produces the contract upon which they are hired to, and just slowly inches it to you, and you've come into the backside of the carriage as they're trying to spill out. Is that what you're doing, Treyban?
Yeah.
So basically, the cleric who would have been closest to you is just like he kind of like he's like shaking, and he's handing you a bunch of letters, and it's like it's in the script. We're just rehearsing. So they work for Smithy's Entertainment Company and have been contracted to perform at the birthday celebration of Giles Neville. The performance is a recreation of an iconic encounter that escalated Giles' fame as an evil bandit. Their armor and weapons are costumes, and they are rehearsing for their lines before they turn in for the night. These performers are... okay, so you kind of attacked them, but not really. And so basically they are on bended knees going, we'll do anything. Please don't harm us. Not fighters. Yeah.
I don't understand why. Explain to me this Night of the Rise.
So the whole notion is for Giles' birthday. The Night of the Rise is a play that is basically the night of Giles' rise to fame, and
he took control of these bandits.
Well, I don't know that is the encounter that occurred for that. I'm just saying that we were handed this script and said that this would have kind of emblematic of his, like, for all I know, he could have been kind of famous before he came out here.
Well, is there a setting for this story? Is there a town mentioned? Is there a village in the script?
No.
He's asking.
No.
What are you, a critic?
No, I'm trying to decipher where this Giles comes from.
No, we just know where he's going, which is a hole in the ground.
So on the other side of the canvas, the side that Arjak didn't run through, is in big bold letters, Smith Entertainment Corporation. Like in this arc.
Can Arjak stick his head back in the hole?
Sure, it's already there. You're not gonna cause more damage.
Fellas, you might want to get out of the cart.
Yep. And they're all like tripping over one another trying to get out of the cart.
All right. So we obviously now have found our way into Giles' camp, because we are now performers along with these guys.
No, because we don't know how to perform. Better yet, we're the stagehands.
Well, I can offer some minor illusionary assistance to what they're doing so we can improve their show, and we can all give them help as we can. So I think, indeed, congratulations, gentlemen, you've now gained new members to your troop. You don't have a problem with that, do you?
And you kind of see them go, so you're gonna endanger the lives of some actors. We don't want to go. We don't want to go. You can go. We're not going. No.
Well,
You've signed a contract.
Yeah, 100 gold, our lives. There's other ways
No,
to make
what
money.
makes you think your lives will be at risk? What?
How? Like, we have costumes, but it's only 4 costumes. How are we getting you in?
No, we're gonna be your workers. Like, we set up the stage. I could be your bodyguard. So could Gish.
And so the guy who's who's playing in the full fake plate mail kind of looks at you and goes, "Brill won't like that."
Who?
Who is Brill?
He's the one who gave us the contract to begin with. I think if we show up with more people, they're going to freak out.
So Brill is who signed the contract, and he is a subordinate of Giles.
I would have to guess yes. He was very...
He's the one planning this party.
He's the one who really wanted us to perform.
And we don't got time to learn the script.
Well, there's no way that 2 Dragonborn and you and I and Elisandra could pretend to be actors.
You saying I ain't handsome enough to be? And he kind of runs his hands through his badly braided dreadlocks.
Now you do notice that they have like cloaks of varying size, and they also have masks to cover.
Yeah,
like they were wearing masks to cover their own face.
Right. But it'd be kind of hard to cover a snout with a mask.
Wouldn't be easy. No.
You take it down. Get some duct tape. Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Gash.
Well, we have an end to meet, and you're a very handy tool for us to meet these ends. And if you believe that somehow or another you get to not fulfill your contract so that I can meet my needs, you're wrong. So, you have one of 2 choices. You will continue to make your contact, make some money, and do what thespians often do when they're in trouble and run for the hills when the fire starts. Or 2, you can attempt to leave now, and, well, I am rather hungry.
So, you notice that the wizard, as you're saying all this, this is actually in there, he's peeing on himself. I mean, it's just kind of like a complete pile of puddle underneath him. So the guy who plays the cleric begins to rant at the party. He tells them that they have no business coming into their camp. You must leave. I'm not going to be intimidated by you guys. Leave.
No one is trying to intimidate you, young man.
Not yet.
Who of you has actually met with Brill?
The guy who's the fighter meekly raises his hand.
So he has seen your face. He recognizes you.
I'll be honest with you. He gave me the contract when I was actually performing for another play, and this isn't the face he saw.
Yes. Do you think you and Aiden could pretend that your face are masked?
So, the guy who plays Giles, y'all have not tied anyone up, gets up,
right.
Runs, just runs.
Arjack grabs an axe and he's gonna throw it.
Okay. He's got cover. Go ahead and roll. So put a -5 in your attack. Yeah. So you throw your axe. It hits a tree. That guy's like, he's like, I gotta clean this up for YouTube. I don't care. I don't care. You guys can do whatever you want. Here's the frickin' bandolier of daggers. I don't care. Takes off.
Can we take off after him?
You can try. I mean.
Okay. I would like to I'd like to give chase with haste.
Okay.
What's his move? Jesus. Though I'm gonna have to like dash.
His
Wait,
natural.
Can I ask one quick question? Did he run down the road or did he go into the woods?
He went straight into the woods.
So there's two people who have no night vision running at top blank speed into the woods right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So what's his base speed? You said
it doesn't matter. I need you to roll 3 dex saves if you want to catch him.
Okay. Gotta psych myself up for this.
Okay, that's good for the first one. That's good for the second one. Nope. So the audience, just so you know, he rolls a 16, a 19, and then a 1. So you're like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And like hit it. He kind of darts just slightly to the side, and you run straight into a tree. And you're like, maybe I didn't.
Gonna be picking splinters out of those tattoos for
right.
So,
well, perhaps we can try to use this wagon to get into the camp, and
We'll still be... Oh, I'm not there.
no, but they've been talking for a while. Many rounds have occurred, so if you feel confident enough, I'm not saying that Aiden would do this, but I'm saying if you feel confident enough, you could be right there talking with them as well.
Actually, I'm alone in the dark.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, you still see Alessandra, who hasn't approached because she keeps going, we going? We going? I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, I'm not staying alone in the dark.
Okay.
Even if we sneak in there with this disguise, we're still going to be surrounded by 40 bandits.
who will be partying. And I would guess drinking liquor in excess.
Mm-hmm.
And will not be, if we could just use the wagon to get into the camp.
So
these guys are drawn to this Giles character because he apparently is so charismatic that he draws them into him.
The fighter
kill him.
The fighter steps out of the covered wagon and goes up to you, Traben, and goes, "Look, I'll be honest with you. I don't really know that I have it in me." And then he faints, like right at your feet.
Traben shakes his head. I understand. I understand. I've been scared before. I was scared into inaction, and thus why I walk the path I do now.
You're talking to someone who's fainted, right?
I'm just talking out loud.
Okay.
So, turning to Aiden, how have dragons not been able to rule this world over these people? I don't understand this at all.
Numbers. That's all they got on you, dragons. Numbers.
So Arjak makes his way back, and his nose is a little crooked, and a little bit of blood down his face.
It's that big piece of bark.
Take it you did not catch him.
Nah.
So,
But that beech tree's never gonna mess with anybody again.
So do we make use of this wagon and its costumes and try to sneak into camp with it? Not sneak, but to infiltrate the camp and somehow get this grill person off alone and cause him to call Giles to us, and then we can take custody of Giles. And if we do, I believe the rest of the ruffians in the camp will
And the three remaining thespians, yes, of course.
So, Alessandra is taking initiative to start tying up the thespians, because she's like, if they're not coming with us, they ain't getting there at all.
So,
and next thing you know, they're kind of look at their feet and they, I didn't notice someone down there, and so they kind of like trip and fall into a row.
Can Arjak climb into the into the wagon and start looking for like hidden compartments and stuff like that?
Absolutely. And as Arjak does that, you do happen to notice that the suspension of the carriage is a little. There are tons of hidden compartments. You can tell that this carriage was also used probably as a makeshift stage from time to time, and so certain effects like being able to, quickly change into a different disguise and then drop through the floor of the carriage, all that, there's a drop area in the carriage so that, you could kind of go in as one person and drop through the floor as another person come out.
Gotcha.
You probably can't because there's not enough clearing when you drop down.
It would come to here.
Yeah, you're like trying to imagine. It's like, the carriage is you kind of step down and it's basically where this feed ends, right? You're like, can't quite get down there.
Do I find anything like I'm looking for like illicit goods, hidden weapons?
No, in fact, everything again looks immensely ornate, and you have this kind of like rack of clothing and stuff, but everything is fake. Everything. It's made with, someone probably threw away some wood, but they put a nice polish on it, and then they stuck the throwing hammer that the dwarf has. It's literally foam. Like if you hit it with something, you'd be like 1 point of damage, maybe. Like, it's like you flip a coin. Heads 1 point of damage, tails 0, right? That kind of thing. Again, Alessandra is also like going, well, we're going to need these too. And she starts taking all the costumes off of the people that are all tied up.
So they're naked.
They have clothes underneath their costumes.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, I don't know that I like the idea of tying them up and leaving them in these strange woods. There are creatures that might make a meal of them.
Then let's bring them along with us and have them finish their contract. They'll be safe in the wagon.
Okay. I mean, like I said, they're terrified. They're like, we don't mind the woods as much as we mind a huge group of bandits. Because, well, they go, wait a minute. What is your intention of what are you going to do when you get there? The cleric's the only one with any sort of sensible mind at this point.
Well, I would think. Well, what business is it of yours of our plan? I mean, you're not going to partake in it. You and your compatriots have made it clear that you wish to depart.
We do, but I'm saying, but I've been listening to your dragon friend here say that we're, terrified of whatever, and I'm saying I think we have reason to be if your intention is to start a scuffle in front of a huge audience.
Well, I will be quite honest with you. Looking at your contract and rereading it, I think they were planning on killing you to begin with.
What?
Note, if the performers give a grand performance, there's a chance they will have a private meeting with Giles. You weren't coming back from this trip.
We heard Giles is a huge fan of the arts.
He's a murderer. He's a thief. He's stealing goods from hardworking people.
Hey guys, I need to take a quick 5-minute. Yeah. I'll be right back.
And actually, we're going to go ahead and do this right now, just across the board, because unfortunately my dog is kind of acting weird and I need to figure out what's going on with her. So 5-minute break. We'll be right back. How you doing there, Abby?
Doing good.
Good. Y'all are taking this adventure in like ways I don't know how to deal with because it like there's nothing in the mini adventure to do some of the things you guys were talking about. I'm like,
Gonna keep you on your toes.
Absolutely. This is exciting. So let me just go ahead.
Alexa, show me the front door.
Oh, doll, I'd love to, but I'm actually super busy with important humanitarian work right now, so I'm so sorry, but I can't. You could. It's only just over there, isn't it? You could just walk over and show your own front door.
I'm coming.
Thanks, Rebel, but I'll take it from here.
Trying to figure out, is there some way that I can see just the chat from my Twitch stream? Smurf, you aware of that? He's not back. Have any of you all used Twitch? No.
You would notice the long gray beard. That's for you kids, man. My day and age, we did it with sticks and stones and amber screens.
Nice. Very nice.
I always thought a Twitch was this.
Yeah, got it.
First Smurf's lost in his new place. All this extra square footage. Now he's blew his survival role. He can't find his way back to his chair.
I kind of want to play out one quick thing right now, and then does that work with y'all, or do we want to wait till everyone gets back? So. The dwarf, after hearing what you say about what you're planning on doing, does an about face with his attitude and goes, "Fine, I'll go with you." Can you all make some insight checks for me? And you think he's all on the up and up. We'll wait till Aiden and Arjak get back fully engaged.
I'm back.
So as the dwarf who has been fighting, like, get out of our camp, and why are you causing us issues, does this immediate about face, and he's like, okay, fine. He heard what Trayban said. We'll go with you. And I asked them to make an insight check for me.
Which didn't turn out too well.
And they think he is totally on the up and up. They almost rolled poor enough that they might have come up with their own thing that had nothing to do with what he was intending. Can you go potty? Can you go potty? Okay. Are you rolling? I don't even know.
Oh, who's rolling insight?
Aiden.
You.
Oh, me. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, the one who doesn't have a clue.
Yeah,
Ooh, man! Wow!
She's got a clue.
It's one of my skills.
Me too, but I didn't roll very well.
Done with all the water again? What did
It's
Aiden roll?
22.
Oh, okay. So you get the sense that this guy, this guy who is this human who's pretending to be a dwarf, who's trying to and acting as a cleric, is trying to basically he's agreeing to go because he's planning on just like basically going with whichever wind blows to say that he can fully get out of this scenario.
He's playing along until he finds his out.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
I think he wants to join us, Gesh.
I whispered to Gash, he's going to hightail it or stab us in the back as soon as the chance favors him.
And so because Alessandra's like really close to Aiden at all times, she's like, yeah, probably gonna happen.
Well, he's a cleric.
He's not really a cleric.
Oh, yeah.
You do know how this works, right? It's
They're playing pretend. It's make-believe.
So at this point, what are y'all's plans? I'm assuming you still want to somehow get a night's sleep so you don't end up with levels of exhaustion for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I want to sleep in the cart. As they're looking, can Arjak find the nicest dress he can of his size and try to put it on?
Sure.
A dress of your size.
A dress.
Okay.
It's a little bit more robish than dress, but it definitely has some gold leafing, around the top part to kind of so that the whole notion would be if it's done in the day, you'd see it kind of reflect and it give this semblance of lace.
So he pokes out of the end of the cart near Gesh and that side and goes, "Don't I look pretty?"
You could paint the hill giant, but it's still a hill giant.
Nice.
And he takes it off and goes he's gonna sleep in the cart.
Okay.
I am never going to get that vision out of my eyes now.
So we're going to camp here at the wagon.
Okay. I'm assuming any gear that you would have left at the old camp you'll bring back down? Okay.
Yes.
So, you have these like 3 people that are tied up around the tree, basically, that they're near. And they grumble a little bit, but it isn't too long into Treban's watch that they all kind of fall asleep. The next watch, who's in the order, is Gesh. Gesh, you spend your 4 hours or so. Nothing of note happens, other than you see Treban wake back up to do a prayer at midnight and then fall asleep. Arjak, you're kind of get up because you have to do your watch outside the...
Right.
And the second you do, Alessandra takes your place, jumps in there, kind of does one of these, taking up as much of the space as she can to be like, "You're not coming back!" I need to roll something real quick for your watch. Yeah, nothing happens. There's a moment where you kind of can just barely make out that there is some group that might be down the road from you that have done a bit of an encampment, but nothing of note. Then, Aiden, you and Alessandra are doing your watch. Let me do one more quick check. Yeah, nothing happens during your watch, and it's the next morning. All right. What would y'all like to do?
So, package the baggage into the wagon. Come on, boys. Go.
What are you trying to do?
We're bringing the thespians back into their wagon, but we're not untying them, so just lifting them up, bring them into the wagon.
Okay, they're going to fight you the entire time, so go ahead and do a strength check against them.
Yes.
Can I assist?
If we take these fellows with us by force, it's going to be obvious when we arrive at this camp that there are people in here that don't want to be here.
And between here and the camp and wherever this starts up, when they decide thinking to themselves they can probably do something to finagle us, by doing this, they'll probably change their mind until later. We're going to
what?
No, we don't.
No, we don't?
No.
We can also cut them loose as a distraction, let them run around and cause mayhem.
The wizard is a young kid. Like he's got a lot of aging makeup on his face, and he's kind of like doing the best he can to like wipe off all the makeup on his clothes and whatnot. And he's like, I'm not going to do anything to you, sir. Just like
I would say we just let them go and take their place and try to use the wagon and the contract to get into the camp.
Yeah.
If we take these guys...
But weren't you the one, just like not more than a half mile back, saying, by Torm, we cannot release these poor people into the woods at night, or who knows what evil things could happen upon them.
I said we can't leave them tied up in the woods at night.
Ah, so we're just gonna fine. These trees are vicious here. We know that, so we'll just.
Well, they're vicious when you run into them face first, like our friend did.
You got no proof of that.
We can see the impression on the tree from here. Perfect.
You have tree bark in your teeth.
I got hungry.
Maybe a nice druid.
If you wish to cut them free, I have no problem with that, and let them find their way.
I thought it was cinnamon. I was doing the cinnamon challenge.
With an oak tree.
Raven's gonna cut him loose. Raven's gonna cut him loose and say, "You are free to go where you wish."
Okay, the young wizard, I mean Halls, all of them are heading away from where you all are headed to. And you kind of watch them for maybe 10, 15 minutes. They don't change course. They are still heading, we're out of here. I don't really care. You kind of hear the guy who played the fight every once in a while kind of going, wait guys, we have to turn in, something to say that we did our job. They're like, don't ask us to do any more work with you. And they just running into that direction.
So as they're wandering away, Gish leans over to Arjak. Eldritch Blast, 120 feet. 1,200 feet, rather.
He pulls out a couple silver. I bet you miss.
Then we'll have treatment on us all the way up to the... But how much silver?
5.
Nah. But he'll pray. If I do that, he's just going to pray, and nah.
So Elisandra kind of looks around and says, do I hide? Or do I sit on Aiden's shoulders?
Do as your wish.
We're all in the wagon, so you can be wherever you want.
No, she kind of reminds the fact that they had made mention of the fact that they were only expecting 4 people to show up. So, feeling that she is the most likely to be hidden, she's kind of going, what do you want me to do?
I'm sure there are plenty of places back there in the back of the wagon where you can tuck yourself.
Okay.
Are there any of those hidden compartments that she would fit into? Like, can we
absolutely.
Locker her?
No, absolutely.
Take out a pair of sandals and put her in. I mean, that's.
So I wanted to make sure that you all had this. So as you are traveling, this is the script for the Night of the Rise. So just so that everyone out there, and this is literally the script, and I just shared it with everyone. You might have to decide who gets to play what as you're traveling. You might want to start practicing. I mean, you don't have to practice out loud, but I'm saying like your characters would say, I'm practicing, right?
I'm thinking I need to be Giles.
So, anyways, you all get to decide this as you are approaching. Let me get to the next piece.
Where's my phone? Because I'm only 5. Don't call me over.
So, the Scout 2 did a really bad job of guesstimating how far away Giles' camp is. Okay, it's quite a bit farther up the road than what he led you to believe. But again, he said with impunity that he couldn't gauge what the scale was on the map, right? So you were reaching the bandit camp mid-afternoon. It's probably, instead of what you probably thought, we should get there before noon, now it's maybe 2 o'clock. And the bandits have set up camp on either side of the road. Let me go ahead and get that map out for you.
Who's our most charismatic?
Traben.
Probably.
You're going to be the voice.
So let's get, there is the camp.
I'd imagine Aiden has stage fright too.
We will let you play the cleric.
One line, right? Or something like that.
Yep. Aiden, cleric, Traben, Giles. I'll be the mage. And Arjack will be the tree.
Okay.
He's just gonna hold up a couple branches.
So as you approach, there's 2 bandits that are kind of standing right as the road kind of terminates or opens up to this encampment, and both of them are carrying short swords and short bows. And they kind of like halt you as you approach, just to kind of go, who's driving and who's riding shotgun on this cart?
I'll ride shotgun.
Who's driving? Need to know.
I vote Traben.
I guess Traben
with the 2 dragons in the covered cart.
Okay, so they kind of approach on either side, and they go, we need to see the contract that you were provided, because they notice all the big block lettering, and one of the guys, as they're approaching Traben's like, man, looks like you had a bit of a rough going, and he kind of points to this huge gash that hasn't been dealt with.
That's just, things happen when you least expect it, and sometimes people don't like performances and they get angry and upset sometimes. It happens. The contract, where is the contract? Do we have the contract?
Guess just running his lines, by the way.
Okay.
Did we get the contract from them?
Yes, if they didn't give it to you, Elsandra took it off them as she was tying them up.
But she's hidden, so she can't hand it to me.
No, but she would have. If you told her to hide under the thing, she would have been like, "You might need this."
Okay, so I hand them Traben hands them, shows them the contract. Doesn't give it to them. He shows them.
They kind of look at it real quick, and they go, I got to be honest with you. I always heard that you theater folk are mighty strange, and he's trying not to be offensive, but he's really looking at Arjack when he says that, and he goes.
Arjack winks at him.
He's like, wow. So yeah, we set up 2 tents for you guys on the far side that you guys can utilize if you need to. Otherwise, do whatever you need to do. We set up a makeshift stage. We're kind of expecting that everything's going to go on precisely at sunset. We've also set up, as you've requested, a series of torches all around the stage. The stage is raised, and we have the staircase as was requested.
Very well, very well.
And Arjack kind of perks up, and whose head is security? I need to make sure mine. The folk I'm paid to look after are kept safe.
The folk you're paid to take care.
The rest of the actors. I'm the muscle.
So you're doubling as muscle and an actor?
Ha ha! He's teasing you. He's acting right now. Get up!
Oh! And as the carriage goes up, the guy's like, "That is a good actor. I would not have guessed that." So I'm gonna kind of move you all over to the two tents that have been set up. Feel free to move yourselves about as you see fit. But if you're doing something that's kind of on the sneakier side, let me know so that I can gauge whether or not people are paying attention to you. There is a series of stools that are set up right outside a stage that is about 2 feet off the ground. And again, on the far end, there is a staircase that leads up. It is, from a theater perspective, it's a very well-made, easily could accommodate Arjak's weight or any kind of any sort of lifting of scenery up and down. If you wanted to do that, it could easily accommodate. At every so at the corners and then dead center of each side of the stage is a lantern in effect. So it's this big a 4x4 post with a lantern that's hanging off of it, gas lantern. They're not currently lit. There is in the audience, there's a bunch of stools, and then there's one kind of raised up chair. You can kind of make it out as being the square. Clearly, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that that's probably for Giles. As you kind of go through, most of the people are staying to the east or to the south end, because actually as you're going in, you're going to the north. Okay, so where you are is the farthest north tents in the encampment. All of the other encampments are really designed to be really large. Like, you can tell that they're sleeping like 8 or 10 to a tent. It's not designed to be accommodating. It's designed to be, utilitarian as much as possible. So y'all make it to the other side. Before anything else happens, is there anything y'all would like to do?
Arjak would like to try to prepare his makeup.
Okay.
Should we?
You know what? I'm so excited that this is happening. How exactly are you? I mean, you have mirrors, so you can see what you're doing. Is there something you were attempting to do?
Is he playing the tree?
No, you're probably going to have to play one of the 4 actual
fighter.
speaking parts.
I'm the fighter.
Yeah.
He's going to try to put just a little bit of blush and, like, some rouge on his lips like a stage actor would.
Okay. I mean, it's going to be at night. There's not going to be a lot of...
He doesn't care. This is what he knows.
No.
I can make light for Arjak if he requires it.
So he's going to try to do that.
Okay.
Do I need to roll anything, or
No. You only get to find out when you go on stage.
Thank heaven for tall and ugly girls.
I mean, because the bottom line is, no matter what you think you're doing, it's going to change based on the lighting scenario and everything else, and it being slightly dark and all these other things, right? So
Every drag queen diva nightmare I've ever had is now coming to mind with this. Yeah.
Well, he's thinking of like the burlesque shows that he's been to, and he's just thinking like,
well, this is how people do things.
This is normal. This isn't strange.
Right. What have you left Elsandra in the covered wagon? Okay.
No, I would say we snuck her into the tent.
Okay. Well, then which one? I need to. If I don't think I've locked anything down. If y'all can, please move yourselves into the tents that you're using. Comfortably, there can be 3 of you. Uncomfortably, like partly sticking out, you can put all 5.
I would tell them that before we go into the tents, I would tell them that we must do a very good performance, because afterwards Giles may wish to meet with us in private, that would be our best opportunity to take care of him.
Okay.
Well, you're in your own tent. This isn't loud enough for us to hear it.
I said before we went in the tent.
Oh, before we went. Arjack is going to bring up that.
I'm rehearsing.
Are we going to be allowed to bring our weapons on stage? Because.
Yes, we're portraying fighters and such.
Oh, I am a fighter. Yeah. Hey, that's what I do.
Okay.
True! And we will restore justice to the village in this area.
So Arjack begins to write, if he can find a writing utensil in the tent, like his lines along his tattoos. So that way they kind of blend in with the pattern of his tattoos, but it's in the spaces in between. Specifically on his axe arm.
Okay, repeat that one more time because I want to make sure I got that right.
So if he's able to find like a pin or something like that, so he's got all these tattoos, right?
Right.
So along the spaces in between where his skin shows, he begins to like scribe his lines for the play along his arm that he carries his axe in, which is his left arm. He swings with his left.
Okay. It's a few moments go by, and the tent with the Dragonborn and Arjack, there's a guy with a really, really nice crossbow kind of like hitting his leg. It's just kind of tied up against his belt, and every time he takes a step, it kind of smacks against his leg, and it doesn't seem to bother him at all. That would be kind of like nerve-wracking, I think, to some people. He's just like, whatever. Definitely hardened in his appearance, and he just kind of, he comes up to the tent, and he looks, he kind of like does against the tent side and next to where the three of you are.
Mm-hmm.
Entree B.
He kind of lifts the curtain to reveal the two Dragonborn and a Goliath, and he's like, he kind of points to you and Arjack, and says, "Come out here for just a second."
So he smiles with his rouge and his blush, and kind of
always the pretty one that goes. Always. Why?
And he kind of says something to you in as quiet as he possibly can. The two of you in the tent, you can roll perception if you'd like, but be aware you're going to need a really high number as he's trying to be quiet. And he goes, you know, when we made this agreement, I didn't realize you're going to bring Dragon in here. That's not going to pose an issue, is it?
Nah, they're quite tame.
Huh. Well, I just want to make sure you know it's all under control. You remember what I said before, and you know what to do. And he just kind of turns around and starts walking away from you.
Huh. And he goes back in.
What? I need to rest to recover my spells!
This is going to be so great. Okay. So time goes by. I need to know if there's any other preparations that you're making.
More blush, more rouge.
Okay. Elsandra kind of notes that, she kind of looks to you, Treban, and goes, "Am I supposed to stay here while you guys are on stage?"
I don't want you to get harmed in any way. Apparently they are only wanting 4 people.
I'm like the best fighter of the group.
I know that. You are very brave and very, very, very... Your ability is great. And
okay.
You have been blessed with awesome talents. Perhaps you could sneak into that large tent over there and see if there's anything information-wise while we are performing.
That
burn them
is
all, little mouse. Burn them all!
That's a good idea.
Don't get caught.
Okay.
I would guess that is the large tent is probably where this Giles sets up his court.
I think that's reasonable.
Tomorrow we fight, and end the darkness that these bandits have brought upon this great and glorious land. I like that better, don't you?
I think it's great.
Can I pause real quick?
Sure.
I don't think I increased my hit points when we leveled up last game.
Should have automatically.
Oh, should it have? Okay.
How many hit points do you have?
10.
No.
That's not right then.
That feels real low to me. Because I was looking at everyone else's, I was like, I only have 10. Do I roll?
Are you looking at mine?
Yeah, I have Fighter 2.
How did you get to Fighter 2?
I drug it over. Yeah.
Should have updated your hit points.
So you would have had... well, first off, your hit points are wrong to begin with because your max should have been 12 from the get-go based on your Constitution score. So you probably dragged over Fighter 1 before you put in your ability scores.
Okay.
So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and adjust it to you should have 22. I'm going to pretend like you didn't roll.
I feel way better now.
Okay.
I was like, crap.
Who knew that tree was actually part white? It sucked the permanent life force on it.
Okay, I feel better now.
Now, Aiden, I don't really feel you're coming in on my downbeat when I finish my line. Like I say my line and there's this gap, and you've got to like be there for the. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. True, and we will restore justice to the village in this area. Claire?
Oh, that's me, right. I will pray to my God tonight for a divine intervention that will help us against the mighty band of... It's too many words.
This is going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome. Why do you think I was so excited? I can't tell you how much I just really could not wait for tonight.
Just breathe through it. Breathe through it. Breathe through it. It's like planting seeds. The words are seeds, one after another. And you can get the field laid out. You can do this, because you're a dragonborn. Alright, here we go. Ready? Here we go. Here we go. True! And we will restore justice to the village of this area!
I will pray to my God tonight for divine intervention that will help us against this mighty band of bandits.
Yes! Yes!
This is going to be so good. Okay, so anyways, Traven, at some point, you start hearing a much bigger commotion, and this is kind of what you see as you look out your tent. Definitively, the bandits have started making their way towards taking seating options near the stage. In the really nice chair is, you don't know him because he didn't come talk to you, but when Arjak looks out, he definitely recognizes that whoever he was talking to, it's probably not Giles, though, as you've been led to believe that Giles just has this amazing bandolier of daggers that he always wears with him. Mm-hmm. But anyways, this guy comes back down to talk to Arjak and kind of knocks on the tent again.
Yeah.
And says, "Oi, I'm Brill, and you're the entertainment. The boys are getting restless, so you best put on a good show tonight. Giles and the boys are over there." And he kind of points over to where everyone's been kind of gathering. Mm-hmm. You have 30 minutes to get ready. I'll be bringing the boys, or the boys are going to get really restless, and we don't want to see that happen.
And Arjak thinks from it, he goes, I had a thought I wanted to run by you.
Okay.
I'm thinking when the performance is over, we should get Giles on stage and have all the boys just cheer for him, because it's a mighty fine thing to be on a stage and being able to retell someone's story and have them actually there and celebrate them for that story.
Hey, that's not what we agreed to.
I know, but it just came to me in an inspiration.
Well,
you know, when you get that artist tick.
Then let it go out the same way, and we'll see what you're supposed to do later on. Don't forget
so let's go over that plan again. You run it by me just to make sure I got it right.
We had a deal when you and I spoke down at the tavern. You agreed to do this for the diamond. Don't go all backing out for me. If you do, then you're all dead. Look how many people we got over here.
No. I'm not trying to back out. I'm just wanting, again, you paid good money for us to be here. And I want to make sure everything goes right as you want.
Look, it's not going to happen unless you convince Brill that your performance is outstanding. Okay?
Okay.
So once it's outstanding, you get to go talk to Brill alone. He likes, but you got to impress the man. He's a big into artistry thing. It's a weird thing. He's trying his best not to offend you as an artist that he thinks you are, right. But he's just like, that ain't right.
All right. So I've already told the other folk that I mean, first off, again, you paid good money for us. We're going to put on a good show, but we dotted our I's, crossed our T's. It'll be the best thing you've ever seen.
Now I got to tell you, I'm going to be down front cheering my butt off. Don't make me look like an idiot.
Oh, never.
All right.
Yeah.
Good day to you, sir.
Five. Okay.
He high fives and kind of rushes off to the stage. Okay. Time's approaching. I need to know how you're going to get to the stage. You're just going to walk over there.
And so as they're walking over, Arjack kind of looks down and he's going, if Stu choose shoes, should Stu choose the shoes he choose? If Stu choose shoes, should... And he's like warming up his voice.
Nice. Y'all, and let me know if y'all are planning on talking to one another prior to the performance. That's kind of key.
Well, as they're walking over to the stage, Traven will tell Gesh that he has asked Alessandra to sneak into the large tent while we are performing to perhaps gain some information.
So what exactly are you asking Alessandra to pick up for you?
Just anything. Just to go look and see if there's anything worthwhile. Any information she can garner.
Okay. Sounds like a good plan. So,
3-4 empanadas and a couple tequilas would be nice.
So you kind of see her literally like she's gonna walk straight out the front entrance towards the stage. Are you gonna stop her?
Alessandra, I thought you were going to sneak into the tent.
But come on, they're stupid. I'll get around them. I don't need to be that stealthy.
Maybe you should stay here and watch the performance.
So, one of the things that Gesh wanted to do...
I'm going to hold my breath.
There you go. Gesh wanted to look through the costumes and find one long enough for him. And he's looking for one of the gaudiest, flashiest, sparkliest...
You're playing the wizard, right? Oh, yeah, yeah. So there's one that the youth was planning on wearing. Is a little bit more reserved and more looking warlock-esque. And then there's one that you can kind of tell, you know, if they had been performing Fantasia, that's probably more along the lines.
Yeah, I'm trying to play Elton John the White.
That is fantastic.
That is wonderful.
Glam, baby, we're going. And as he walks on the stage, it's going to be... like that. Get all out.
So,
Kiva time.
So,
go.
Brill starts walking now towards the other tent, and Alessandra kind of turns around, and, like, you see her dive underneath some, like, goods that are in the tent, and she's like, Traven, he's coming! All of a sudden you hear, against, like, the edge of the cabling for the tent.
Yes?
So, you know, I just want to make sure you know it's time to go. You guys are running late now, and I need to understand.
You don't hurry, actors.
We do when we pay 100 gold. That's a lot of gold for one evening stay. So
we are letting the crowd get restless so that they are more anxious and ready to receive this spectacular performance that you are about to witness.
So he like his eyebrows kind of curled down, kind of menacingly, and or not menacingly, more in an absolute frustration of like, you're trying to actually get to visit with Giles, right? Y'all need to get up there on stage. Plus, which one of you is the opening act?
That would be me.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that you're ready to go, because you know we paid for an opening act and a main act. So.
Oh. Wait. Very well.
Wait a minute. You don't have an opening act? You must be kidding. We paid. Well, I suggest you come up with one quickly.
There's nothing in the contract about an opening act.
He's like, that is, you know, that is what we paid for. And he kind of just.
So, Gesh is walking up and goes, listen, we fight about this all the time. I know you want to be the opening act, but you're not good enough to do this. I will go on stage and give them the performance they want for the opening. You know that I'm better at this than you. And you're always like, no, you can't do it. Well, I don't care. You can just put on your hose and go home, honey. I am opening tonight.
And Arjack comes in. You opened last time. It's time for me to open tonight. I mean, you did it last. Before that was Traven. I want my turn to do the opening act.
What about me?
You're still in the tent. Are you calling from the tent?
Yeah, sure.
That's fantastic. Bill's like, I don't care who does it. You need to get up there. We're getting restless. Do it now.
Very well. We are on our way. Go find your seat.
He does.
So Gesh just says, well, I do actually have a little bit of performance training. Do you mind if I do the opening act?
Very well, please.
I mean, Arjack is looking mighty pretty, so maybe he can just stand in back and maybe my backup.
That's fine. Whatever you all want to do.
Our opening act is both of us wrestling in full shooter gear.
That's just okay. So as you all are kind of disagreeing with one another, all of a sudden it's like Giles just appears at the seat, and he's just like and when you look at him, even if you aren't human, okay, you're taken aback by just how confident this person walks. And this person is like, he's like taking a seat as though this is his seat. He owns this. He owns that stage. All the people around him, there's no fear going on here. He is absolutely convinced that this is his world. So, I'm sorry to interrupt, but continue.
Okay, so we're making our way towards the stage?
Yes.
Okay.
And again, we'll start locking in characters after the play commences. So,
and
Aiden, are you tagging along?
The circle thing to the to the mid left.
That is a fire where they're kind of making some stew.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or they had made stew earlier and kind of fed the troops. That wasn't kind of feeding you all wasn't really part of the contract. So.
Fair enough.
Oh wait. Wrong way.
So Aiden does a excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, through the entire crowd.
I just scrolled the map the wrong way.
No, I just think it's hilarious because of the way that you did and not like going around it. You went through the audience in order to like take your position. And there, you kind of hear them going, opening act, and Giles kind of stands up and kind of hushes the crowd and very eloquently is like, performers, please take the stage.
Flight breath. Okay. They're grouped. Flight breath.
So, Oh, wondrous audience. Thank you for joining us this evening for the terrific play of The Night of the Rise. But before that, as an opening intrigue, since we're speaking of heroes and heroic deeds, I have an ode from the times gone past during the Dragon Wars, a time of battle, a time of fierce combat between the Dragonkin and all of the nations. And he'll now...
Are you wearing any sort of mask, or you're like, no, I'm Red Dragonborn?
Red Dragonborn.
Okay.
Arjack claps as he's up there. Woo!
Brill is right there going, this is going to be awesome. Awesome. Yeah, this is going to be... Go ahead and roll your performance check. And actually, what are you... So, before you roll it, because I need to know whether I need to give you advantage, what actually you're going to do? You're going to just retell a story?
I am telling one of, actually, Getch's things is he loves the history of the Dragon War. So he's going to tell one of those stories, but at the peak moments, he's going to use prestidigitation to enhance whatever he can with turning on fire, turning off fires, and eventually during the big combat scene, he will breathe fire.
Okay, so during the prestidigitation, you're going to roll 3 performance checks, okay? Mm-hmm. So the first one I want you to roll with advantage, because this is when you're first telling your story. And even though you're doing it, it's that nervous tension of realizing that how does this story end? Do the dragons win and they kill the humans?
Getch is actually going to leave that nebulous. It's a story he would tell. The dragons eat everybody, but he's not unwise to that, right?
Okay, so it's like the dragons versus the Underdark. But like as your first start, you're like
dragons versus the orcs. Dragons eating orcs.
So it's that nervous tension of going, ooh, that's a story about us killing humans, and so you got a little nervous, but it still goes over well with the crowd. Loud applause. A few of the crowd members are standing here, making Brill not look like a complete idiot for cheering you on. Go ahead and continue.
All right, so I continue now my performance using, as I said, my illusionary tricks as much as I can to enhance the story of how the battle rises to crescendo, how there's blood and gore, and there seems that the tide just will not turn, and the dragons turn their might of their fiery death upon the armies, breathing fire.
So this is into the air, not at the people, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Just wanted to gauge that. You burst into this flame, and unfortunately, you kind of see where Alessandra is. Yeah. And she just like whoosh, immediately just dives onto the ground and like, please don't see me. Please don't see me. All right. Go ahead and roll. This definitely with advantage. That was fantastic. Oh, yeah. I mean, so your performance actually outshines, and like they don't even notice this 2-foot little female running across the, sneaking across the area. And so when she drops down, your performance is so spectacular that even the people mending the food are like, wow, look at that. That's incredible. And they're kind of like, ooh. Wow, my eyes are a little bit, still adjusting. And Alessandra takes that moment to just haul. So go ahead. How are you going to conclude your...
So coming off that and then, of course, the armies all united together and attempting to defeat the great mass and power of the dragons. At that point, he'll use prestidigitation to knock out the lights that he can in front of him.
Okay.
And then actually start a flame by lighting him himself. But there's always that one hope that comes through, one hero as your leader would be shining through, finally brings success and glory, and now I'll light all the lamps again at glory, to the victory for those who deserved it on the field that day.
Giles, you don't even have to roll. Giles is like, Brill, where did you find these people? They are fantastic. This is such a great beginning. You see Brill kind of going, and he kind of stands up and kind of motions to you if you're willing to listen to him for a second. And he goes, "You pulled that together just now?"
No, that is an ancient tale.
Oh, well, you deserve this, and he hands you 5 gold pieces. He's like, that was this.
Oh.
Please tell me the rest of the play is going to go this well.
It's better from here.
I have a lot more faith in you all. This is fantastic. All right, so Brill walks back up on the stage and goes, "Brothers, prepare yourself for the main act. In honor of Giles Neville, the Smith Entertainment Company is here to perform The Night of the Rise. Many of us have heard the story, but only few witnessed the original occurrence. I hope you enjoy the show." Brill, as soon as he's done, he just starts clapping, trying to get everyone in the audience, having seen the opening act, like, "Oh, this is gonna be good. Yeah, man. I'm so excited. We don't have to scout. Yeah, that's fantastic. Let's just give it up for Giles. Anyways, yeah." Okay, so, all right, it is time for the main play. So, if you will, bring yourselves out to the stage, and it is time for the performance. If I am not locking anything down, so if you feel like there's blocking that's important to your character, move your icon around. If not, that's fine too.
So Arjak will look at the others to make sure they're ready.
Okay.
And then he will turn to the crowd and kind of like puff himself up at like to his full 7.5-foot height.
There's a lot of laughing in the audience, like, "Oh, he must be the comedy relief."
And he goes, "Tomorrow, and his voice is like deepening as much as he can. We fight in the darkness that those bandits have brought upon this land."
True. And we will restore justice to the villages in this area.
I will pray to my God tonight for divine intervention that will help us against this mighty band of bandits.
And Traven is confused because he thought he was playing the fighter.
Yeah, you're playing Giles the rogue.
Playing Giles.
Yeah.
So then he goes, "I say we slay them all while they are sleeping, without any mercy."
You see Giles kind of like put his hand on his head, and he's like, "Huh, this is an interesting take."
But I need to rest to recover my spells.
Traven steps to the center of the stage in the front. Doesn't look over his shoulder at the mage. Looks at the crowd. "Pah! We don't need your spells. We need no use of the arts. I'll slice them up like they were a fine dinner."
Aiden will move up, do a begging pose, and say, "Giles, don't be hasty. We need to prepare."
And Arjak will come forward and put his left arm on Traven's shoulder and kind of glance to his notes and go, "Yes, Giles." Or, sorry, I gotta do the accent. "Yes, Giles. We must wait until dawn."
Is that the conclusion?
No.
No, there's more. There's much more.
Fantastic.
Traven fades to
He's
the
gonna
back.
glam the road, man. Boom! Ha! And so, while the rest of the party slept, the uncanny and very cunning Giles left his allies and under the cover of darkness. Of course, you're gonna put out the lights for a moment.
As soon as you do that, they're like, "Ooh."
Back up again. Good night. It's slipped from the prestidigitation, slipped into the bandit camp. And now I'm going to go...
Arjack is going to slip to the back, and he's going to drink the blue potion he has.
Oh, no. Okay. Okay.
This might be the one that makes him bigger.
So here's the thing. Are you fighting? Are you resisting any of the effects of the spell of the potion?
What depends. How does it feel?
No, I'm not telling you that. You drank it, and you either gonna. So I'm assuming that since you drank it, you want whatever's gonna happen.
I'm gonna say that he's in haste. He's just like, it's gonna make me big, and he just downs it. Okay,
so you kind of move to the back, and all of a sudden, can anyone see this? Aiden, you kind of notice this just from your peripheral vision. That all of a sudden, like the fighter is like all the gear just whoosh, flows directly into the ground. Arjack, you're currently 6 inches tall. And they're like, what? And like, Brill's like... what the?
So we return to the stage now, right?
Yeah.
Using his magnificent disguise ability.
Traven's holding his like cape up.
He was able to pass himself off as a member of the bandits. He spoke to them and drank with them until he was able to get close enough to their leader.
So Traven's like moving around from, to Aiden, and he looks over where Arjack's supposed to be.
And Arjack walks up with a scrap of something to cover himself, and he goes, "It is I, the bandit leader! Look how weak and puny I am!"
So Traven kind of looks down.
Roll a Constitution save, Arjack.
You said Constitution saving?
Yes, please. Okay, so you see Guess, you notice that like everyone's like squinting to see Arjack. They're like,
and Guess is doing the spokesmodel thing now, going.
And suddenly the effects start waning on the potion, and now would effectively be Alessandra's size, but naked because you're outside of your clothes.
Right.
So Traven says, turns to the audience and says, "My blades will find their mark this evening. I will sneak into his tent while he is sleeping and has not his armor to protect him. Of that I am certain."
Giles slipped up next to the leader and laughed at him, and he pulled him in close and whispered something into his ear and slashed the man's throat with his dagger.
This is awesome. So how are you playing this out? Like, the narration's going on.
Right.
How is this playing out between...
While he's narrating, I don't have a dagger. Well, I'll probably have a fake dagger that they had.
Yeah.
Because Arjack is now...
Arjack kind of lifts his arm where you would, like, stab underneath his, like, armpit and is like...
So when you lift your arm up, Draven actually scoops you up and takes the play dagger across your throat. Real dramatically, like, flings it like that,
And now, for prestidigitation, I'm going to make gore coming out of Arjack's neck.
And everyone's like, "Oh, this is weird. Is he killing the kid? Is it a bandit leader? Is it?"
So, Josh gets everybody to line up for the bows in the front. Thank you.
Do a Constitution save again, Arjack.
Didn't roll. Let me try that again.
I have so much tears in my eyes I can't even see.
I know.
Right? So Gash, who's playing the narrator at this point, is bringing everyone up. Aiden, are you coming up to the front for a bow?
Oh yes, sorry.
Okay, so everyone's coming up, and as Arjak comes forward, he grows again to about human size to take his bow, and you hear someone in the back there and go, "Oh, he seems so small because of distance." That's peculiar. That is some. You did this with Matt or with makeup, and then all of a sudden there's that sudden realization that again Arjak isn't clothed, and it's like watching the Watchmen movie. And you're like, But Giles is sitting there just clapping away, going, close enough. So I rolled checks that we're supposed to do as you guys are doing a performance. You got 2 20s. So whatever you did, Giles is like, that is the funniest play I have ever seen. And he's like, Brill, you got me. You totally got me. He thinks he's being pranked kind of thing. So he's like, yeah, you know what, Brill, just please have them come back to my tent whenever you can. That'd be great. So he gets up and leaves, and everyone else is, from that moment of, is this how it happened? like absolute confusion.
Okay.
They see Giles.
I need to take a timer here. So I need to go and get myself back together again.
Holy cow. So I'm going to just tell a little story so everyone can catch their breath, okay? The bandits are all again, they're looking all confused, and when Giles actually says, "Oh man, you got me, Brill," they're like, "Oh, it was a practical joke. That was funny as hell," just really excited about, about this play. And Brill's like, you can kind of tell Brill's been clapping the whole time, he's kind of like, this better work. This better work. And then when Giles believes it to work, he's like, okay, fine. Clearly, I don't understand great art. He just kind of looks around. It's like, great. So the bandits that are all around the thing, except for Brill, start breaking down chairs, and they have these assigned chores that they're supposed to do with what to do with the stage and everything when it's done. And Brill kind of ushers you all over to the main entrance of the of the tent.
Can I get dressed?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't know that's not just your, hey, I'm here to meet you, Giles.
I'll run back, grab my stuff.
Yeah, it's slightly hanging all off you because you sized it when you were Goliath, and right now you're still human sized. So it's kind of like these droopy robes and things are kind of dragging. You're like, oh, this sucks. Again, everyone else, go ahead and move your tokens.
As he walks by the bandits that are breaking down chairs, he's kind of like, autographs. Anyone want an autograph? And
they're still kind of recollecting. They're like, we're good. So,
trying desperately not to look anywhere in that area. You're like, nope, fine.
Yeah. So, as Brill walks you over to Giles, he's like, I don't know how you guys pulled this off. This is really impressive, I guess. And but this is the moment of truth. And he kind of looks at Arjak and he's like, you know what you got to do, right?
And he kind of goes.
What are you supposed to do?
The thing we discussed.
And that is
impress Giles.
No.
Kill Giles?
Are you backing out?
No, I'm not backing out. You see me up there? I had a lot of people staring at my junk. I did not even shave down there today.
Yeah. Okay. You have a point I can't dispute.
Right.
Right.
So I'm coming down off that little rush up there of public nudity, and I need you to refresh me.
And you're human size now, so he just kind of brings you close. It's like you're supposed to kill him.
Okay.
I knew it. I knew it.
Okay. I don't like the fact that he's been directing us to do all this ridiculous nonsense of taking out people and whatnot. It brings too much heat on us.
Right.
You take him out.
Put you in a bad light.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Go team.
And so he starts to move out of your way. Actually, he kind of just comes up to the tent and kind of swishes the tent aside. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and have everyone in the tent. We're going to zoom in on it, and then we're going to have the rest of the... So, as soon as he does that, he's like, he immediately leaves because he doesn't want to be tied into that just yet because he doesn't know if you actually have it in you to get it done. But Giles is sitting there with a knife to Alessandra's throat as you walked in, and he goes, you all wouldn't happen to know why this little thing is in my tent, would you? The coincidence here, a little too much for me.
I would like to cast a spell.
Do it. So, but if you're casting a spell, you get this as a surprise thing. Everything else then goes straight into initiative.
Can I still wield my battle axe?
No, you did not bring your battle axe to the stage.
What do I have on me?
Just
armor?
I don't know. You were talking about swords.
No, I wasn't.
No? So what were you wearing when you were on stage?
Like, just his armor and stuff. Like, his normal, like...
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, you would have your battle axe.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of, like, sheathed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to have to take it out.
He couldn't carry his shield because it would be too heavy at this point.
Yeah. For a battle axe, you might have to dual-hand it. Okay? Especially because it's size for a Goliath.
That ups it to 1d10 damage. I can do this.
Okay, so what spell are you casting now?
Compelled Duel.
What does that mean?
You attempt to compel a creature into a duel. One creature that you can see within range and is 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is drawn to you, compelled by your divine demand. For the duration, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against creatures other than you, and must make a wisdom saving throw each time it attempts to move into a space that is more than 30 feet away from you.
Okay. Roll it.
So basically, he's channeling Torm and telling this Giles character that he must fight me, Traven.
Okay. Do it.
Damn.
So he succeeds from it, and he kind of notices that you're casting a spell. Okay. Because there's a somatic component to it, right?
Yes. Okay,
so this guy is rather worldly, so he recognizes when Arcana's afoot. Go ahead and did everyone roll initiative?
No.
No.
Okay, roll initiative.
And when do I get to make my next Constitution save?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
It's planned. Okay, so top of the order, it's Giles. He's going to go first. He makes... hold on. I have to target someone first. Why is this not...
You got to put the combat tracker on him. You got to...
Oh, that's right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ignore that. I clicked the wrong thing. I am so sorry. It didn't do anything. I'm trying to build in a macro.
Okay. So he just like rams this dagger directly into this halfling, and he is going to have. I don't have the macro set up, but effectively because she's bound, he ends up doing sneak attack damage as well. So Alessandra is significantly injured by all this. Sorry. Traben, you're up.
He's going to step forward and draw his sword and attack.
Okay. Oh, natural 20. Good time to get that.
And oh yeah, and he's going to burn a divine smite.
Okay. So, again, you bring down your, what were you using? Your greatsword? Longsword?
Longsword.
You bring down your longsword directly on Giles, and there's a certain sense of he's trying to be agile and move away from you. It's just the fact that he's kind of like almost entangled in the way that he has Alessandra roped up that kind of trips him and keeps him within your grasp as you're drawing down your sword, just kind of ripping across his body and all of a sudden exuding this radiant damage all over him. But it's kind of shocking. You would have thought this probably should have killed him. Next up.
Well, I'm going to finish with a.
Oh, sorry.
Step to there, if I can go there.
Yeah, you kind of. But when you do, you kind of. There's like a nightstand table kind of thing there that's kind of set up, and you just like poof, kick it, and it just like breaks through the tent in the back.
Okay.
Next up is Aiden.
Okay, I'm going to cast a spell on the bad guy. And he failed. So I cast Bane on him.
Nice. So he has a much harder time saving and attacking, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does Aiden do anything else? No. Or do you already pass an R check?
I'll move to there.
Okay.
So,
and Arjak, make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
This is, by the way, a very large tent. Okay, so now you are now 1.5 times your normal size. You're completely bound by your clothes and are going to be at a -5 in order to swing.
So now I'm huge?
Now you're huge. You're actually busting through the top. Like, the tent's kind of coming up, and, like, it's straining all the stakes that have the thing on the ground.
What about if I just swung with a fist?
The whole thing is that the problem is that your armor's on, right? And it's now too small, right? So that's why it's like you would still be at a disadvantage, or so at a -5.
And battle axe him.
Okay.
Do I have any bonuses to damage because I'm so big?
No.
Okay.
Because you're bound. I mean, your arms are bound. You're like you're doing one of these things, right?
You said disadvantage, right?
Well, I'm gonna say -5.
-5. Okay.
Yeah, that's a complete swing and a miss. But you should see Giles is like, now he's afraid that you're going to keep growing. You're just going to step on him.
I'm going to action surge because we short rested, and I'm
Sure.
going to swing again.
Do it.
Still -5?
I'll say the second time you kind of figured out better how to use it, so it's now just a -2.
-2.
And that's a hit. Your great axe comes down on Giles just like incredibly cleanly. He goes from being moderately wounded to he's taking a beating, and he's trying to figure out now what is his best option. I'm going to have Alessandra do a quick dex save. Let's see if she can manage to get a hand free. So yeah, she all of a sudden, Arjak, you kind of notice this just because, and Aiden, you also kind of notice this as she's like managed to get one hand free to cast a spell. She targets. Did I target it appropriately? No, because it's not her turn yet. So she targets Giles with a. And she's going to cast Magic Missile on him. And as she does that, hold 1 second. Okay. She kind of like has a hand free to just get these magic missiles out of her hand, and they kind of dart and hit Giles. You kind of notice her whole body kind of surge with like a weird energy thing, and then it settles back down within the tent. Gesh, you are up.
So all I'm seeing right now is Arjak booty, right? I mean, can I even see the target beyond him at this point?
He's actually, you know what? We have to change this for a little bit.
It's got a tattoo on it too.
Hold on. I did that wrong. So this is what you see. You do have an angle on Giles, but Arjak is kind of squarely in the middle, and the tent is bursting at where he's growing to.
Let's see. What I'd like to do is cast Eldritch Blast at him. I think all I need is line of sight on that. So let me check here.
I believe so.
Yep. So if I can see him, I can shoot him.
I think if you take a 5-foot step up, you'd be easily able to see him. There you go.
You really need to take care of that cyst on your back. Oh, God. Nah!
So, because the tent is like as taut as it possibly can be, there's this like gaping hole now, just above Giles' head that's kind of ripped out, and you kind of hear Brill kind of beat, like tapping against the thing, like, what is going on in there? You know, he wants to be able to take over things cleanly. So it is Giles' turn. He again doesn't know where to go, but kind of sees how important Alessandra is, or apparently is, that he goes ahead and strikes again at her. But this time, as she's kind of like squirming all around and he's being hit with Bane, his attack is just of no use whatsoever. Next, Traven. You're muted.
It's because I pushed the button because I forgot I don't have to push the button on Twitch.
Nice.
Or Skype. Traven's going to tell him to unhand Alessandra now or die.
Okay. I mean, you're not going to see him do anything until it's his turn.
Then I will ready in action. If he does not release her, I will smite him.
So how long are you going to wait until his turn?
Yes.
Upon his turn, if he does not release her, you're going to smite him. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Aiden.
Aiden is concentrating on her spell.
Okay.
Two-handed battle axe swing!
Okay. Make a Constitution save.
Oh, jeez. I'm about to get big again.
Bigger?
No, actually, you return back to normal size.
Normal size?
Like,
okay.
You're, again, Goliath normal size.
Right. My 7'5" goodness. Oh, am I not targeting him?
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
That's okay. You rolled a 10. That will miss.
Okay, that's what I figured, but...
Sorry.
It's okay.
And Alessandra is going to try to escape from the ropes.
Escape.
So, where's her? Unfortunately, not good at all. So she, you can kind of tell she's trying to get out as, complete full body escape from the ropes. And she kind of trips, and he sort of lets go, but it's really because she, in her attempt to escape, kind of lands directly on her face. So take that for what you will. Next one up, Gesh.
Well, since magic has not been very effective, it's time to hit him with the great big tall pointy thing.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, all day.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead and roll me another Roll me another D20, just D20 by itself. Okay, so not confirmed. You bring over your sword. You critically miss him, but not critically fail, right? So you miss, and it's kind of like you hit the ground in front of you. And if you had said something like, I'm going to make the ground shake underneath your feet, that would have been awesome. But because you're, intent on hitting him, he kind of smirks a little bit as this continues. Giles now, with not having a clean attack on Alessandra, has decided to change and attack Traben.
Did he let her go?
He did, but he swings at you. Really?
You're a Faerun. Yeah.
So he swings at you, lunges. He's completely, effectively, the way that he lunged at you was almost through the tent and moved away from you as he did that. So you have an attack of opportunity at this point if you'd like.
Yes.
That's a hit.
Do we all get an attack of opportunity?
Oh, actually, yeah. So yeah, everyone else does as well. That would have had one.
I would do a throw an axe.
No, it has to be melee. I don't think you can. It'd have to be the weapon that's in your hands, right?
Battle axe it is.
There you go. So Traben makes an attack, hits. So does Arjak. And unfortunately, Gesh is just kind of a little too squeezed out in the corner between these two fighters that can't quite get it out.
You just said no. I said 1 second.
Just an observation here. I'm getting a lot of background noise from someone right now.
So did everyone's... So what we haven't seen is Arjak's damage. And Giles is dead. I didn't realize you had I forgot that he had such a huge strength bonus. So Giles is outside the thing and just oozing out blood in every direction. The second that happens, I'm not gonna use the map, but the second that happened, Brill kind of walks in and goes, "This is fantastic. I'm glad that you've gotten rid of the notorious bandit named Giles. I, having taken over this command, have decided to grant you, absolutely leniency. No one will threaten you as you depart."
So, as he says that, can Arjak go out to the body?
Yeah, if Arjak goes through to the body, you're going to do more damage to the tent.
That's fine. He doesn't care at this point. He's going to go out the hole, cutting his way out as he goes with his axe if he needs to. And he's going to try to take the head of Giles.
I don't think they'll let you do that. I think the bandits won't allow that, but they're like, why exactly are you taking his head? Like, just imagine that the bandits had... The bottom line is that the bandits were all waiting outside with Brill for this to go down. The tent is, like, lifted, and now it's dropped back down. There's bandits all over the tent.
I misunderstood. Okay, so Arjak's intention was to be like, well, I killed him, now I'm your leader.
Oh, yeah.
But if they're all around that and they're all on Brill's side, he's not going to do it.
Well, because basically, while you were attacking, Brill was outside going, I just want you to understand, I'm going to be the next leader. I'm the one who hired all these people to take care of them. This is my kill. And everyone's like, yep, that makes sense.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, Arjak won't do that. Then never mind. I misunderstood the situation.
So the question is whether or not there's something you might want to take in order to kind of help identify that... you have killed him.
John, are you going to go scalp him?
Does he wear anything that's indicative of his... Do you have a weapon? Is there any,
His bandolier of daggers is always his signature thing.
Does he have any distinguishing physical features?
I mean, other than being outstandingly charismatic, even in death, like you'd be like, at a wake, this guy would be... People might give a standing ovation at the wake, right? No, I mean, he's not...
No rings.
No, he's not. His whole thing was, I want to be charismatic without being noticeable. Like, if I wanted to hide in a crowd, I don't have distinguishing hair or distinguishing features or tattoos or anything else, right? So it was a matter of a hooded cloak, and all of a sudden he disappears in a crowd. Cloak gone, he has a commanding presence.
Well, then it would be the bandoliers, which would be our proof of Giles' death.
Okay.
Well, it also seemed that Angela knew him, right? She seemed to have a personal grudge.
There was something during an insight check that you all had at last game. There was something that clued you in that Angela lost someone personal to Giles.
Right. So we'll take the daggers and his cloak.
Okay. Alessandra is like tugging at Arjak's leg at this point. First off, she's tied up, but she's like, even within her tied up, she's like, I got something to tell you, but I don't know if this is the right time.
So he kind of plants his axe so she can kind of like rub the ropes on the blade and like free herself from it.
Okay.
Because him hacking at the ropes is probably a bad idea.
Yeah, she does that, and she's just like, and I'm leaving, and I'm leaving, and I'm leaving, and I'm leaving. And she just kind of like keeps moving away.
Where's she going?
She's just like...
Traven says to no one in particular, just in general, like...
So, Arjak, you're the only one who's talked to her at all.
Okay, and he's just like, we'll talk later. Is it that, I'll come with you. Why don't we step out towards the front gate and we have a little chat? And so me and her will go, well, no, there's people over there.
They're not exactly where they are. I'm not going to spend time to move every single icon right now.
If we go over here, would we be away from people?
If you went back to your tent, would be the only kind of sense of like, because Brill's kind of expecting you all to leave at this point.
Okay, so he kind of like, come on, and they make haste back to the tent.
Okay.
To the cart, the tent, kind of right there.
Spinning her around. Dun, dun, dun. So she's like, I found a lot of things, and I tried to take as much as I could from that tent. Is basically, and she's like, I don't think we're safe here. I think we need to get out, but I don't, it's like Giles was bad. I don't know if Brill's going to be any better.
Do you think we need to, Brill while we're here?
I don't, like, at this point, Brill has, made himself be, like, in the center of all the bandits. He's proselytizing about, like, now we're going to have a different age. We're going to be, do things that are far more respectable, and we're not going to have to be we'll set up our own destiny. And he's kind of going on and on, like, all that nonsense that Giles had us involved with is done. We're not doing that anymore.
Okay. So you, little one, loot in the truck or in the in the cart. 1, 2. We're missing some folks.
Traben, what are you doing at this point?
Again, I'm pushing the buddy. Looking around the tent before I leave, is there anything that looks important? Any correspondence? Any notes? A diary?
So there's a master desk in there to the left-hand side, kind of near where Aiden was standing, and there was, you can tell whatever was there was rummaged through, and there's just like letters everywhere, all on the ground. There's some there's a multiple communications from from someone who you can't really make out the letters very well because it's the handwriting is just so poor. Like even like staying there to read would be awkward, right?
Right. Okay, so he'll leave.
Okay.
Join the group.
Okay. Let's see.
And try to listen in, not openly or not, to what Brill is saying. As he's walking by, just, make sure he doesn't hear anything about Cyric or anything like that.
So you hear as he's up there, he's just like, I know that we've had a lot of change in the guard. Valen was clearly a worthless commander. Giles was was only going to lead us to insane ruin at a quickened pace, and I will take us out from the depths that they've brought us to. And he kind of you get the sense that they're not staying here. Like this isn't going to be a permanent location for them anymore. You all kind of jump into. Are you guys quickly packing? I need to kind of understand how and if you're leaving.
Yeah, just kind of throw everything on the cart and go.
Okay, so Elisandra continues, and at some point, let's roll a D4 and just find out who. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, so sorry, Arjac.
Yes.
She picks you to hand this, but I'm going to assume that you're going to give this to the rest of the party to read as you all are taking off.
Yep.
So
he'll actually pass it either to reading. It's going to Traven or Gash or Aiden. To be honest, he doesn't really read.
Okay, so she just kind of hands it to you because she's like, I don't know who to hand this to.
And he'll hand it to just whoever will take it.
And I'm sorry, Valen was not the earlier leader. There was a different leader, but anyways, this is the communication that she hands to everyone.
Interesting.
Lord of the Depths.
Yes. And the iconography underneath it is stands out among the letter as, it's part of the letter. It's not. So this is where we leave everyone tonight, with the party running out of the bandit camp in the carriage, and hints as to stuff to come. And I'll read this real quickly, just in case it's not easy to read. It just says, Giles, just because you have ousted the previous leader of your gang does not mean you are free from the obligations that your predecessor agreed to. You will be in charge of organizing the assault on Golden Fields. We cannot trust that Gull will have any strategically capable lieutenants. Please understand this is not a request. Praise the Lord of the Depths, Valen.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Gah, that was the name on the side of the thing in mud, right?
Oh, yeah.
That was the giant.
The backward hug.
The backward hug, yes. Guys, I have to say, I have not laughed so hard in a Dungeons & Dragons adventure ever.
I got one more. As they leave on the cart, our Jack will kind of stand and be like, "Remember, folks, Smith Acting Company, if you need either dressed or non-dressed, and if you need help with your next mutiny, just give us a holler."
And I forgot to say, Brill, at the time of everyone, Brill would have handed Arjak a diamond. So we'll go into the value of that when y'all make it back to...
He'll immediately pass that to Aiden, because spell components.
As well as 90 additional gold, because he doesn't know that you weren't the original group that he worked with, so there was that 10 gold down, so you only get the additional 90. Thank you, everyone on Twitch for coming along, and we will be posting all the rest of the videos. Please take a note in the comment section. If you're interested in following us on Twitch, we have an event section. We're going to keep that up to date to make sure that you all know when the next adventure is coming along. If you want to see it live. If not, or if you want to catch up on all the episodes leading up until now, please take a look at the playlist that's in the description in the section for this particular video on Twitch, and it will lead you over to the playlist that has all the previous episodes. Thank you so much, and have a good one.
Woo!